just forget about you tomorrow. What you better do.
I'm excited at the same time because basically the doctor
Getting,
said you're going to feel almost instant relief as soon as
yeah,
you're, and he said we'll have you up and walking within hours of after surgery. So,
yeah. My brother had a hip replaced about, I think, 15 years ago now,
mhm.
and he can have access to them during the game. So that's good enough.
Yeah, that's the important thing. So I'm just so I'm clear on what the problem was. Are you saying that you tried to print the PDFs and then they didn't stick to the one page?
No, I get an error message that on my printer that I have to like change the page tray or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's, I think, something with the drivers.
Okay.
All of our other devices are Mac or Apple, and I'm using an HP.
Well, that's your problem right
So-
there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure because I think the last session you were saying you were having a margin problem and it wouldn't print to one page for you. So, but
Yeah.
now you got something totally different going on. But
Right.
okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't lend my IT support out to everybody, but then it'll be nonstop. But if you got problems with something and you need a hand, you just give me a holler or something. We can set up a time to hop on and
Okay, I
try to work out
appreciate
something.
that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not a Mac guy, but if you got problems with it, then between the two of us, we can probably figure it out. If it were Windows, then it'd be like, don't worry about it, I got this. But Mac's a different story. All right. Well, let me see here. Everybody still there?
Yes.
All right. Sounded like Skype just.
Yeah, there was a big beep. What was that?
It's usually a connectivity issue, but
Oh,
a lag or something. But we're back. So, all right. So we'll go through the pregame checklist here. Language. Remember to keep your language and idle chatter public friendly. No off-color jokes, etc., etc., etc. Background. Keep your background public friendly. Microphone. Practice good microphone etiquette. Thank you for being muted, Kevin, while you were having dinner. That's an example of good microphone etiquette. Character sheets. Have the current character sheets ready. We covered that. Sounds like everyone's set. Pen or pencil. If you're using printed copy, have a pen or pencil ready. Dice. Does everybody have their dice? Or am I rolling for anybody tonight?
I've got a bunch.
Okay. Morale modifier. Remember to keep track of your character's morale modifier between scenes. Next game. So, I'm thinking July 20th or August 3rd. I'm going to have this conversation with you, Ange, before we got on tonight, but got preoccupied and forgot since we're talking, the 2 weekends prior to your procedure. So
I would like to do August 3rd, but if that doesn't work out for everybody, that's fine.
August 3rd works better for me because I have a doctor's appointment the 19th, which is that Friday, which I don't know. I may have to stay, do testing. So, yeah, 3rd would be better for me.
what do you say, Dave?
Well, my daughter's coming down from South Bend, and so that might be a problem. Just 1 second. Let me check with my wife
Okay.
about that schedule.
Hey, Don. We'll see you later.
Dang, that was harsh, dude.
Not even the same thing.
Not even close, bro.
Did he say he wouldn't be here tonight? I heard you say something earlier about it.
Yeah, he doesn't feel good. He's home, but he texted me, said he's home, but he doesn't feel good. That's what happens when you sit outside in 90-degree heat and drink
Yeah,
lots of
drink.
beer.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
All right. So now that we've got the next date set for July 20th, we'll get into, we'll do the character sheet review, and then we'll do the game intro and previous session review. Let me pull up somebody's character sheet here. All right, so I'm bringing up Angie's character sheet. Let me share out my screen here. All right, everybody seeing my sheet?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, one minor addition on the priorities tab. So this is from the player's handbook. Whatever priority level you assigned, there's a generic title associated with that priority level. And so I put that in here in Old Imperial and New Imperial. It's just some RP lore kind of thing, just kind of set the tone, maybe to help you, form a little bit more of a concept for your characters or something out of there, kind of matches how you envision your character. Like battle prowess priority is E, is an Echo, which makes her, the title for that's fighter. And she's got priority A into faith, which makes her a prophet. Sonic aptitude, awakened, etc. So that's what you guys have in your character sheets. It doesn't have any game mechanic function. It's just there as part of it's a descriptor, if you will. The main additions here are the prayers and spells tabs. And this is meant to be, you can print this if you need to. The only page that's set to print is this page on the left. But really, this is kind of meant as a sheet that you would use while playing the game, like a live working, like a live workbook. So what you've got down here is the list of spells that your character knows. So she knows Divine Radiance. That's something that every character gets for free if their priority level is high enough in faith. And there's a drop down here for the spells that I currently have. So if you learn the clone spell, then you would select that and add that to your character sheet. And the cost automatically is determined. It's a freebie. And then if she raised it, put any additional points into it, we would put that here. You can see her base force rating's at 8. And then if she spends experience points to raise it, that's where we're going to add it. And you can see what the cost is. It's 90,000 to raise it to the next level. And if she had any modifiers from like a special item or something like that, we would add that. And then you get the total force rating. And then whatever thaumaturgies she knows, the description for it pops up over here on the right. And this could become relevant under certain situations. Let's say she's casting a spell. She's going to use the Divine Radiance. And then she's going to use Muthos, which is basically it's verbal casting. So she's verbally casting the spell. She's reciting a prayer out loud or something like that. And then the spell she's casting is Divine Radiance. And then once that's picked, it tells her right here she's going to cast it at force rating 8. If I tell her that her target number is a 6, she could put that in here. And then, if she wants to record the number of successes she rolled. And it looks like I need to unlock that cell, but if this doesn't calculate anything, this is just to record, or if you got a scrap piece of paper, whatever you want, but I'll have to correct that. The main thing here is that once the spell is picked, the description for it automatically comes up. So you can see here that it's got a function of combat. Area of effect is all unholy within short range. Damage type is physical. The duration is 1 action. The effect of it is radiant. That's like the damage type. Range is 0. Risk is LFR drain. So this spell has a risk. So if she were to critically fail it, then she has to resist life force drain. And the resist roll, this is what the opponent is rolling. They're rolling either their con or their wisdom plus their battle defense pool plus their mana defense pool. And the sphere that the spell is from is iconic. And then you get a description, a short description of what the spell does. So the standard definition of an unholy opponent is undead or fiend, demon, devil, fallen angel, etc. This definition could be different depending on their religion. If the caster critically fails the action roll, they must resist against the target number determined by their opponent's threat level. For each success that isn't matched in the resistance roll, the caster loses 1 point of LFR. So that way you haven't got to look up the spell to see exactly what it does. And it works the same over here on the spells tab. You know, you just pick whatever thaumaturgy you're using, whatever spell. She doesn't know any, but let's say Force Bolt. She's got a wand that does Force Bolt, but she doesn't know the spell. But if you want to see what the spell, if you want to see what the spell description does, ignoring some of the other game mechanics because she doesn't know it, you can see here what it does. So maybe it's not really useful right now because your spell selection is pretty simple. But as spells in psionics are going to get a similar sheet that's added, does the same thing. But once more of those things are added to the game, and once you guys discover and unlock those things, and your selection of prayers and psionics and spells increases, then the idea here is this will save you the hassle of going to look up, like, oh yeah, what does that spell do again? You can just pick it here and then shows you what it does. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a nice addition.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you think you're cool or something, don't you?
I'm just trying to make things easy for you guys,
I don't know.
So. All right. Well, with that out of the way.
Well, I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm in OneDrive right now, and of course I'm looking at prayers, and all of the writing for ceremony, Futhark, all of that's in white. Are you still in it? Because when you were showing it to all of us, it was in black and we could read it. It's all in white on my end, so I can't really read it that well.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. So
Okay.
it's only supposed to show what is relevant based on what you currently have selected.
Okay. So if I click on Divine Radiance, it should show something.
Share your screen with me, and let me just make sure that we're on the same page.
Let's see here.
You may be seeing something.
Can you see it?
Not yet.
Nope.
There we go. Go.
No.
Can you see me now?
No.
Well, I'm choosing your name.
No, you go down to.
Okay.
In Skype, you go down to share screen.
Okay.
And then.
So share it from there. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Start sharing. Here you go.
Yeah, I think you were trying to share it in.
I was in OneDrive.
Share your screen.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh God.
Can you see it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's white. It's white. I can't see that.
Yeah. So
You don't want me to read it?
I don't know why it's doing that. That's not how it's supposed to work. When, as you saw, it displays
Yeah.
it perfectly fine when I do it. So what it's supposed to do is all that stuff is supposed to be hidden. And what it determines is visible is based on the priority level of the faith score that you have. So if your priority level of faith was low enough that you didn't have anything beyond ceremony, it wouldn't show you all those others.
Mm.
But because your priority level A, you're supposed to be able to see all of those. That shouldn't show up
Uh-huh.
in white. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's got something to do with because you're looking at it in the browser instead of opening it up in Excel itself. We'll take a look at that later.
That's fine. I just wondered. I thought maybe it was because you were in it too.
No.
My
But-
question is you can only do it in OneDrive. You can't do it once you download it and pop it up that way, can you?
Yeah, you can download it to your desktop.
Which I did.
You can save your character sheet to your desktop and then open it up in Excel.
Oh, it's an Excel.
Yes.
Oh.
Unless you grab the PDF, but
I grabbed the PDF.
yeah, see, you want the Excel because PDF is static. Excel is a live working document. And I discovered in the demonstration there's a couple of cells that are locked that aren't supposed to be.
Yeah, I
So
saw
I'll get those changed and then they'll be you'll be able to get them from OneDrive again. But they're really just notes fields for you to keep track of your dice rolls. It's not really going to have any other impact. Anything else?
No, I can see.
All right. On to the game. All right. This is the legendary story of how your characters died. As is the case with all myths, the details and the truth are lost to the ages, warped by the agenda of the bard telling the tale. In one version, you are the cursed villain that betrayed your oath. You lied to everyone and they paid the price for your failure. In a different version, you're the forgotten hero that despite the many setbacks you experienced along the way, you overcame the obstacles.
Obstacles?
Yep, the obstacles. You saw the cow on top of a cotton house.
What?
And you found you did not find the treasure that you were seeking. No, but seriously, you selflessly paid the ultimate price so that people you've never met who would never know your name could live in a better world. I've gathered you.
Right over there, Billy. Rolled off desk.
Yep. I've gathered you together to see the events that took place through your eyes. In the end, I will be the final judge of whether you died a saint or a sinner. And now, before we resume the tale, the lore master will give us a summary of the events that took place last session.
Alden and Adriana worked in shifts in the small alchemy lab to complete analysis of Biokilstra. In 2 more days, they succeeded in discovering that Biokilstra supports respiration and nutrition of the octocyrosite. The substance could probably be synthesized from plant materials. Perhaps Tobin could use his engineering skill to work on this in the future. Before working on extending the green zone to the Hall of Mists and to the fish farm, the party planned an expedition to search for equipment and for secret rooms that may contain sleepers. The party chose a thorough approach and planned an expedition of 3 scenes out and 3 scenes back. The cart was loaded with 60 pounds of supplies and 25 pounds of equipment. The new march order was Peggy, Alden pushing the cart next to Adriana, with Tobin following. The party moved through the waterworks archway. The air was damp, cold, and musty. Copper pipes ran along the ceiling and walls. Most rooms were in ruins. The distant cry of a baby was occasionally heard. Scene 1 was a combat scene located in the Biokilstra processing room. The room was littered with the ruins of tubs, jugs, glassware, boilers, cauldrons, stone counters, and so forth. Fluids ranged in color from purple to pink. Peggy stood guard as Alden investigated the equipment, and Adriana brought a pail to catch the fluids. Peggy and Adriana were surprised by a naked humanoid crawling up out of a tub. The obese creature had rotting flesh with sores, sharp claws, and teeth. The creature attacked Peggy but did no damage. Peggy attacked the creature but did no damage. Alden fired his wand of force bolts at the creature but did no damage. Adriana fired force bolts at the creature but did no damage. Peggy again attacked the creature but did no damage. The creature again attacked Peggy but did no damage. Alden tried to determine the creature's vulnerabilities, suspecting that it was a demon or undead or damned evil creature. Adriana fired force bolts again but did no damage. At Alden's suggestion, Peggy and Tobin assisted Adriana in using faith to cast divine radiance against the creature. Creature attacked Peggy again but did no damage. Divine radiance badly burned the creature. Alden fired force bolts at the creature but not damage it. The party retreated from the room and the creature did not follow. Scene 2 was a combat scene located in a hall, about 4 paces wide and twice as tall as a person. Ventilation grates and copper sconces appeared every 12 paces. Rooms were in ruins. The air was musty and damp. Sounds were of dripping water, mice, and a crying baby. Everyone but Peggy noticed an odor of stinking flesh. Alden told Peggy about the smell, and she looked around for bodies. The damaged demon dropped from an air duct on Tobit, but did no damage. Peggy and Tobit assisted Adriana in using faith, and their divine radiance destroyed the demon. Adriana and Tobit gained morale, and Alden lost a morale modifier. Scene 3 was an obstacle scene located in a hall. The air changed from cool to hot. Blasts of steam blocked the way forward. Alden tried to find a way around the obstacle but failed. The party tried to race through the steam blasts. Alden made it through first, followed by Adriana, then Peggy and Tobit. The cartographer found a shortcut back to the green zone. One more scene.
All right, thank you, Dave. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight for this next scene, we've already established that Tobit is with you guys, but his player isn't here tonight. So what we're going to do is I'm not going to play his character for him, but any dice rolls that you guys make that he could assist with, I'll give you guys 1 extra die. Because he's still here using up supplies and he's still present. So you guys are on your way back to the green zone. We got one more scene to play out before you get there. And we need to know the location. Player 1, Dave, give me a D66 roll for the location.
52.
Okay. And player 2, which is that's Alden. It's Kevin. D66 roll for the scene type.
$11.
Okay. So the location is player's choice. Do you want a list of locations
Yeah.
we've already played in?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the Amphora storage room, the Biokilster processing room, the cart storage, fish farm, hall, or the Hall of Mists, the landmark.
Well, we kind of got driven out of the Biokilstra processing center by the combat, but also, I'd say either Biokilstra or the fish farm, because that way we could at least get something to take back with us, assuming this is not another combat.
I'm thinking fish farm too.
Okay, fish farm it is. Okay, and the scene type here is story. All right. So you guys had the obstacle that you just got past, and you kept exploring around this area known as the waterworks. And the next door, intersection, or turn always seems to be just beyond the reach of your light. Been exploring around here for a little while. And we're going to zoom in on one such location that you explored, and that's the fish farm. And you come up, the next door you came across was stuck. After putting some effort into it, it opened with a loud metallic protest. There's a thick metal threshold that you need to step over, as the door is framed in such a way as to form a watertight seal. Your lantern casts long shadows into the cavernous room. A few feet into the room, the floor changes from metal to flagstone. There are several round tanks of various sizes made of stone throughout the room. All the tanks are 5 feet tall, but vary in diameter from 10 feet to 30 feet. The tanks are full of salt water. This is clearly a very large chamber of sorts. And because this is a story scene, the story scene is basically an investigation scene. Story scenes are an opportunity for you to learn the campaign lore and become more immersed in the story. It's also an opportunity for you to explore how to move the plot along. The group needs to first pick a topic related to the story that you're playing out. For example, it could be this place, something you've found, something you're looking for, someone you've heard of, or anything else that's related to the fiction that we're creating together. The players should focus their efforts on the same topic, each searching for answers to questions that are within their character's area of expertise or in some way adding to the results of their teammates. The scene lasts for 3 rounds. Each PC gets 1 action per round. Suggestions include searching for something specific that one would reasonably expect to find here, examining the object found, or using an ability or skill on the object found. You can use any attribute, plus any ability or skill that you logically weave into the story. What you do is up to you, but you need to state what your desired outcome is, what ability, attribute, or skill you want to use, what your character's action looks like. At the conclusion of the scene, the players roll a morale modifier for their character. So each of you need to give me the name and description of an object that you would expect to find in this scene. So we'll start with Dave. What's an object that you would expect to find in this scene?
I am looking for some sort of container or conveyance that they used to take the fish, the food out of here to other rooms where they had the octocyrosites.
So something that they would have transported the live fish in to go feed the octocyrosites. Okay. So that's something that you would expect to find here in this room. And as you guys look around, you do see smaller vessels stacked up in one location that would have, basically they're small amphoras of some type. And Kevin, what's an object you would expect to find in this scene?
Water lines, trying to figure out where a water source is coming from.
Okay.
That maybe we can bring it back towards our green zone.
Okay. So there are, in fact, pipes of various sizes running along the walls and ceiling to the tanks. And Ange, what's an object you would expect to find in this scene?
I'm looking for live fish.
You would expect there to be live fish in the tanks.
I'm hoping to find some live fish in those tanks. Hopefully they're making babies.
Perhaps there are. That is something that's not so obvious as the other two things. So you may need to search for that.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Dave, what is it that Peggy is doing? What's the question that she is searching for an answer to? What is she investigating in this scene?
Well, I guess following up on the same line as the object that she was looking for, she would be trying to figure out roughly how it was that they gathered these fish into these containers. And so did they net them, or was there like a sluice where they swam down? How'd they get them into the little amphora containers? And was there like a dolly that they loaded some number of the amphora containers onto and rolled them? How did they get across that watertight threshold of the door? Or was there another entrance?
Yeah.
So basically the process by which the fish got out of the tanks and out of the room.
Okay. And how are you going to go about figuring that out? What combination of things are you going to use to put your dice pool together? What skill plus ability or attribute? What two of those three things are you going to roll to see if you can figure that out?
Probably like intelligence, trying to imagine different ways they would possibly capture the fish, get them out of the tanks,
Okay.
etc. And I guess maybe a little bit of the ceramics knowledge, given that it looks like it's amphora that they were using. I guess, yeah, that might imply that they're like dumping the fish
Yeah. Okay.
in and out.
Okay. And you guys are doing the thorough approach, which gives you an extra D6. So you get to combine. Let's see. So you said you're doing your intelligence, which is a 6. And then using your knowledge of ceramics, which is a 9. So that's 15, plus you got the extra die for the approach is 16, and your target number is a 6.
Okay, and this is a lot of dice. I don't need personally, but at some point, maybe Tobit's contribution comes in as well.
If you want him to assist you, you can get an extra die for that.
Maybe I'll, if he can assist everybody, I'll take it. Otherwise, I'll wait and let somebody else use his die.
No, he can assist everybody.
Okay, then I'll add one more. And the target is what number?
6.
Oh, man, unbelievable.
1.
I got 1. Fortunately, because I rolled 1, 2, 3, 4 ones.
Oh boy.
I did get a success.
Oh no.
Well,
Oh.
the important thing is that you got at least 1 success.
Yes.
Thanks to Tobit.
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right. So you look around, and one thing I didn't describe here is the catwalks. So as you're searching around this room, you see that many of the stone tanks are damaged. A tangled mess of expanded rusty metal decking, rails and chains, and various support beams and posts are sticking out from them or dangerously bridging them. Human skeletal remains are found throughout the room. Some are impaled by debris, while others are crushed beneath it. Chains hang from the ceiling, most of which have broken rails or rings dangling from them. Some of the chains are still doing their job. There are small sections of catwalks still suspended, mostly along the walls. There are also 4 work and storage areas still suspended. These areas are now islands since their catwalks fell into the tanks long ago. Second floor work and storage areas have workbenches and tables, chairs and crates and barrels. You find multiple ruined remains of stairs that would have led up to the second floor area. From the looks of them, they were intentionally broke free from the upper deck. Except for the side of the room that you entered from, each side of the room has a door that would have been accessible from the second floor had it not mostly collapsed. So it's while exploring this area, on the ground floor, You do catch what looks like a pulled net that they would have used to fish to get the fish out of the tanks. Beyond that, you're not seeing a lot. Not really seeing a lot of clues to directly answer your question. So at this point, it's up for conjecture.
Okay.
So that takes us to player 2, Kevin. What is the question that you're searching for an answer to?
Well, my intelligence tells me, since I'm so superior, that most of your drain lines are bigger lines and most of your input lines are littler. I'm going to try to focus on the littler lines and see if they go somewhere that besides into the wall, and try to figure out, like I said, where the water source may be coming from. Is it going, like, does it go in the wall and does it go up? Does it go down? Stuff like that.
Okay. So you're trying to get a sense of.
Does it go sideways? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So your intelligence, and is there anything else that you want to combine with that?
Not that I can, not, nothing skill wise that I have. I'm gonna have to change some of my skills, I think, down the road.
Okay.
But
all right.
Yeah.
Then give me an intelligence roll. You get an extra die for the approach, the thorough approach that you guys are taking. And Tobit can help. So there's another extra die.
Okay.
Your target number is a 6.
Two successes, no failures.
2 successes. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you examine the tanks, walk around them, try and find, try and follow the traces of the piping. You can kind of tell the drain pipes from the regular pipes because the drain pipes are thicker and lead, whereas the inline, the inflow lines are going to be copper. Even back in the days of the old empire, they knew that lead piping wasn't healthy for people. They didn't call it lead; it was plenum. And you can see that the lines, they do disappear into the wall. And based on the construction that you've observed of this place as you've been exploring it, the walls they're thicker than what you would expect them to be. So there must be a lot of hidden infrastructure inside of those walls, even though a lot of the water infrastructure also runs on the outside of those walls. So where it goes from here is hard to say. You've not observed any kind of pumping systems of any kind.
That's what I was going to ask, is if maybe this is hiding a pump system in there. Water exchange, salinity.
Can we actually see the water coming out of the into the tanks, like dripping?
No.
Okay.
No. They if you could see, if you could get a better view of the tanks, or maybe get in the tanks, then maybe you could find it. But just from the outside, I mean, again, the tanks are, probably about 4 foot high, and they're pretty big around. And your lantern light is mostly reflected off the top of the water. It doesn't really go down very far into the tanks. But from what you can see above the water level to the rest of the top of the tank, you don't see any place there where the plumbing
Goes into it.
Yeah, so it doesn't like come out of the top like a faucet. So it must be down below the water line somewhere.
Okay.
And that takes us to player 3, takes us to Ange with Adriana. What is the question that she is searching for an answer to?
So I'm looking to see if there's live fish anywhere. So, and maybe to, assist with, Alden's question of, inlets and all this other stuff, trying to figure out the tank and the system. Do we still have access in our equipment to the glowing glass that we had?
To the glow
The
water?
glow water?
Yeah, so you used up your one glow water.
Man.
You used it up several sessions ago.
Okay.
But other people have glow water.
I can make more too.
Okay. Because my thought was, if I had access to the glow water within, a bottle, it could be taken down into a tank to kind of give us some visibility to see what's going on down there. And I was going to use my intelligence, and I don't know if this is a stretch or not, but I was also going to use my apothecary skill, because that's a knowledge of, not just medicines and all that other stuff, but also crafting. So maybe I would have kind of an idea as to how this was made and how everything is being brought in, and maybe we can see what's going on down there.
So as far as the glow water goes, they basically work like a glow stick would in our world.
Rave.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a fish race.
It's in a crystalline tube, basically, that you shake up vigorously, and then it glows for a while, and then it fades and it's used up. So if you wanted to, someone wanted to give up their glow water for you to use, then yeah, you could just drop it into a tank, and maybe you can get a better visibility on whatever it is you're trying to find.
Peggy will donate hers.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll remove it from my inventory.
Okay.
All right. So your plan then is to do what with it? Are you going to just drop it in, or
I'm going to take that netting that we found, the net, and kind of move things around to see, because I'm sure that there's settling and sludge and all kinds of stuff down in there. So I'm trying to maybe clear an area for that, drop it in there, and then that way I can observe from there. I really don't want to get in the tank because I don't know what's in there.
Okay.
So I just want to look and see if there's any fish, or if there's any new fish happening, if there's, guppies. I mean, if there's anything out of the, we could take a water sample and see what's living in it too, and maybe harvest that. Because it's salt water, I can't imagine that there's going to be a ton of stuff. There's not really a big light source down there. It's not like it's growing seaweed and algae and all this other stuff down there. So.
Yeah. Okay. And you said you wanted to roll
Intelligence. And I was going to use my
Your
My
apothecary.
apothecary.
Okay, so the apothecary
And only
is a little bit of a
stretch.
It was a little bit of a
I kind of
stretch,
thought
but
it was.
it's also it's not just crafting, it's also knowledge of harvesting materials for medicinal purposes. So it kind of gives you a little bit of knowledge about basic ecology. You know, like if you want, like, okay, like you would know that you could use fish skin for
Burn.
for helping to help with burns. And so you know a little bit about, okay, well, if we were growing, you know, a certain type of marine life, like what it would take to sustain it and the best way to harvest it. So it's a little bit of a stretch, but some of that could be useful for determining the conditions and estimating, like, okay, like what kind of life support would this tank give
Sure.
while it's, you know, not being maintained
Yeah.
in this environment, that kind of thing. So go ahead and roll.
Okay.
And then you get an extra die for the thorough approach.
All right.
You get an extra die for Tobid's help.
Let's see.
And I'll give you 2 extra die for using the glow water.
Okay, so got 7, and then going back to my apothecary here.
Apothecary is a 5.
Yes. Okay. And then you're giving me 2 extra. And then I got Tobid's.
2 extra for the glow water, 1 from Tobid,
Okay.
and 1 for the thorough
Oh
approach.
my God.
And your target number is a 6.
Okay, I better get something. There's a whole lot of dice here. All right.
Actually, correction.
What's that?
So what I've not been doing is applying your target number penalty from your mental fatigue that you guys have.
Oh. What?
Your target number is an 8.
8?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, oh my God. There's so many. All right.
You got a bunch of 6s?
I'm just Alden right now, sorry.
No. No, I'm doing them half and half. Oh my God. You're not going to believe this. So I've done half my dice. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6s. Holy cow.
Okay, well, that's 5 possibilities.
Yep.
Keep going.
Okay. All right. And I've got, oh geez. Well, so it looks like I've only got 1 so far. Okay, let me do my last half here. It's a lot of dice. Okay, oh geez, really 1 6 out of all that. Okay. Oh, yep, I have 2 successes total.
Okay, so you rolled 6 6s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you re-rolled those, and then out of all those 6, only 2 came up 2 or better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's it, because the rest were
Just making
the
sure.
rest were 1s. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's Dave's luck.
I mean, at least I got
Yeah.
2 successes. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that last batch, There was only 1/6 in the whole thing. So yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I got a 3 the second time around. So I'm like, well, at least that's a success. So yeah. All right.
Okay. So,
That's a lot of dice. Holy crap.
okay. So, out of all that, you do see one small fish.
Really?
Probably weighs about 3 pounds.
Oh, 3 pounds. That's pretty good. Nice.
All right.
I'm gonna take it home
So that
with
takes.
me.
You gonna take him with
I'm
you?
gonna take it home with me. Well, we need to figure something else out. Try and keep it alive. See if it's gonna make babies.
All right. So that takes us back to player 1 for your second action. So it takes us to Dave. Where are you going from here?
So is it the second or am I on the third? Because I found the M4, the object, and then I pursued the question.
It's your second.
Oh, okay.
Because you've only rolled once, so the action's defined by you making a roll. So the rest was just adding to the scene, adding to the setting to establish, what's there and where you're at.
Yeah. So sort of meta level, is there a line of inquiry that would help us build the green zone to the fish farm? Like if I focused on how they got these containers out of the room across the watertight threshold, similarly to kind of Kevin looking for the possibilities of how these pipes might run back to our green zone. Is there some more specific thing that I should look for along those lines?
So to incorporate a location into your green zone essentially is you guys finding choke points or some location where you can set up barricades or in some way, shape, or form establish a zone of control over that area to prevent people from coming and going that you don't want to be traversing the area that is connected back to your already established green zone. So I don't really see how that could apply, but I mean that's up to you guys. Maybe you can think of something, but I don't see how that's relevant.
Okay, I'll go in another direction then. One of the other things that we wanted to do on our expedition was find equipment. So when I hear that Adriana says, I got one, Peggy is going to start looking for useful equipment. So piping, stuff that's not damaged, not corroded. And I'll just kind of roll for how many pounds of equipment I can find.
Okay, so you can certainly scavenge around the room. As I've described, there's things that the scaffolding and other decking that has already fallen into the tanks, and some of it is, bridging other from one tank to the next. So there's lots of scrap piles, if you will, that you can search through, and maybe you can find something that you can get to that's not wedged in there so bad that you can't get to it, and maybe it's still a hole. So what are you going to roll to see if you can find some useful equipment?
Well, I think probably just awareness. Just looking for stuff that is not bent, cracked, corroded.
Okay. So your awareness.
Yeah, and I don't think I have a skill that's that relevant.
Okay. So your awareness of 6 plus 1 for the approach makes it 7. Tobit's help brings it up to 8. So you got 8 against and you also have got a target number penalty because of your mental fatigue. So your target number is an 8.
Okay. Nice. One possibility and no crit failure. Okay. So 0 and 0 sort of.
So you search around and you thought you found something, but it broke while you were trying to retrieve it.
Okay.
So it was wedged underneath a pile that was pretty heavy on it, and I guess you weren't thinking straight, and you used it in the wrong way and pried up, and it broke.
Exactly. I don't know my own strength. I just snapped it.
You're a tough lady.
All right. Player 2, Kevin, for your second action.
So when we come into the waterworks area from the green zone, is there a pressure difference? Can we sense that?
You can't. The only thing out of the ordinary you notice when you come through the area is, the air is a lot more damp and cold, and then the archways that you pass under, there's a pressure plate of some kind that the cart rolls over or someone steps on, someone triggers it, and then the misters pop out that sprayed Peggy that one time with some unknown nasty fluid. That was at a different location, but same type of misters. But these didn't spray you guys with anything. It just basically whatever condensation was on there, it just kind of blew it on you. That's really about the only thing out of the ordinary you've really seen.
In the green zone, are the doors similar? Like, are they watertight? Like, they have the lip and stuff?
They do not. And not all of the doorways in the waterworks have that seal structure around them, like a ship hatch. Not all of them are built like that. Just some of the rooms in the waterworks are like that, and this one is like that, presumably because there's such large quantities of water here, so that if the tanks were to rupture, or the pipes were to rupture, they could close up the room and keep it from flooding the place.
Is and you said the walls are the same as in the other room. They seem to be thicker, maybe. But they're the same.
Yeah, it's just an observation that you've made as you've been going through mapping the place. That, like, okay, well, these walls are a lot thicker than you would expect them to be. They're not just like interior wall thickness. They're like fortress thick. Like they're supporting like a ton of weight, or they're meant to resist some sort of serious damage of some kind or something.
And is there water dripping through the walls?
There's not.
What about the ceilings?
There's water dripping from, like, whether it's condensation or a leaky pipe or something. It's, you can't really say, but there's definitely water that drips frequently throughout this place.
When I grab one of the smaller pipes, copper pipes, is there any play in it? Like, or is it pretty much solid? I mean, it doesn't move at all.
It could move. I guess where are you going with this? And then let's have a dice roll and we'll see how it plays out.
Well, I'm just wondering if maybe this whole area is like underwater. And that's why the walls are thicker. And that's why they have the hatches. Like
Gotcha.
some of them's waterproofed. Because you said it's colder and damper in here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and the structure in here, I mean, the standard construction throughout this place is metal. But when you came into this room, it transitioned from metal to stone.
Mm-hmm.
So after so many feet into the room, the metal plates stopped and it became stone. So stone floor, stone walls.
I'm gonna have me and have what's your strength, Peggy?
7.
Adriana?
Mine's a 5.
It's Tobit's. I don't know.
He's only going to contribute 1 die regardless of what his stats are.
I'm gonna try to have all 3 of us yank on one of these smaller copper pole pipes and see if we can pull it away from the wall. See what happens.
Okay.
You ready to run out? Shut the door.
Yeah.
Oh, Tobit, you drowned. I'm sorry. He had to ask his wife if he could go.
All right. So you want everyone to pitch in and try and rip a pipe out of the wall.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Or at least loosen it enough that maybe we can see where the water, if there's water behind it, what if we break the pipe? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it all one solid piece, or is there like connections every so often?
There's connections. You can see that, it's probably like a 4 foot to 6 foot run, and then it goes to a coupler where another pipe connects, and there's different junctions where other pipes meet up with it and bends. And
So if we successfully rip this out of the wall and there's water coming out of it, what are we going to do with it?
Close the door for now, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to see if it goes somewhere else, if the pipe goes beyond the wall, if we can look inside the wall at that point.
Sure. Okay.
okay, so who's participating in this?
Everybody.
Okay.
I can help you with that.
Dave and Ange, your target numbers are an 8. So it'll be your strength +1 for the thorough approach. Minus Tobit's help. So you don't get the extra die for Tobit. So you roll your strength +1 for the approach against target number 8. Kevin, go ahead and roll your strength +1 for the approach, +1 from Tobit. And your target number is a 6 because you don't have the penalty.
I got 2 successes.
I got 4. No, 3. It's a 5. 3 successes.
I also have 2 successes.
Okay. All right, so you guys find a line. And as you're working on it, you could feel that it starts to give a little. More like as you're trying to find the right kind of leverage on it to work it, it turns as you're trying to rip it off or whatever. You felt it turn like maybe like a eighth of a turn or something. So now whether you tightened it or loosened it is another question. Because of how rusted, the connection is. So maybe you're getting somewhere, maybe you're not. You don't know unless you keep working on it. All right. So that was your second turn. This takes us back to Ange for her second turn.
Okay, so when I found this fish, did I just look in one tank? I mean, I
No,
could use that
you
glow
look.
water in a couple other tanks, yeah?
Well, no, because you dropped it down in there.
I mean, I can
I
retrieve
mean,
it out of there. I mean, it's
how,
not
how are you going to retrieve it?
with the net.
Okay, well, that would be easier said than done. Because it's going to slip through the netting.
How do we know that?
Because I'm telling you, it's going to slip through the netting.
Man,
Because it's not like a real tight weave
know.
netting. These are going to be larger and it's going to slip through. So once you drop it in there, it's dropped in. So
you can't take the side of the net and
you can make a
bring it up
die
the
roll. You
wall?
could spend your action to try and retrieve it. So it's up to you. But I mean, you searched around, but only used it on one tank because it wasn't retrievable after that.
Well, I think at this point, I probably want to make sure that I'd like to get this fish, got it sequestered somehow. I'd like to take it back, try and keep it alive. Peggy broke a receptacle to put something in. We brought stuff with us in our cart.
You've got buckets, you've got stuff.
I
So
could take
if
a
you want to
bucket.
try and if you want to take that 3-pounder back with you, you can.
Yeah. I mean, I think what I'd like to do is, maybe even take the net and go through a couple of the other tanks just to see, even if I just dredge something up, at least I can see, what's in there. And then maybe, take a couple of buckets and put some of this water in there too. So that way, at least I've got something, to take back. And then we can take a look at it and see what other properties are in there.
Okay. So you described a few things you could do. So what is it you are going to do? And
So
what
I
is
think
it you're going to roll?
I think right now it's going to be, putting the fish in a bucket. Do I need to roll for that?
No, we've already established that you found one in
Okay.
what ways. So we'll say that you've already retrieved it. So let me pull up the group inventory, special finds.
Special finds.
So we're going to say you've got, we'll call this octocyrosite food. You've got 3 pounds. You're bringing back 3 pounds of octocyrosite food with you so far.
Okay. How many other buckets we got with us?
You guys have got 20 buckets with you.
Holy crap. Let's I'd like to bring back at least, I don't want to have a ton of buckets with us. I mean, I'd like to actually try and let me try and net in like 2 of the surrounding tanks that I can tell that at least there's something in there. I can't see real well because all I have is lantern light, but I could definitely tell with feeling with a net that there's something in there to see if I can retrieve any more fish.
Okay. So you're going to go netting.
Mm-hmm.
And what is your dice pool going to consist of? How are you going about trying to net? Is this a
I think
dex
I'm-
plus something or what?
Yeah. I'd say dex. And, I'll use the apothecary again.
Okay. Trying to think
Yeah.
of like, okay, in this wrecked up tank, where are they most likely to be?
Mm-hmm.
So that you can kind of fish around blindly.
Yeah.
Okay. So your dex 6 plus your apothecary 5, so that's 11 dice, plus 1 from Tobit's help makes it 12, plus the approach brings you to 13 dice, and your target number is an 8.
Oh, 8 again. All right. I got 3 successes.
3 successes.
Yeah.
That's pretty
One
good.
more than last time.
It's pretty good. All right. So you retrieve 11 pounds of fish.
Nice. All right. Whoopee. Fish.
So now you're bringing back 14 pounds of octocyrosite food.
All right.
All right, that takes us back to Dave for your third and final action.
Okay. Let me just get down. That was another how much fish? 12 pounds?
14 total.
Yep. So it was 11 more.
11. All right.
Do you want to keep working on that pipe? Do you want to look for more equipment or?
It seems like if our combined strength just barely managed to twist it, that I'm not gonna pursue that in my fatigued state. Actually, anything I do doesn't have much of a chance of success. Maybe I should just help carry the buckets to the cart. Let's see.
Well, slim chance is better than no chance, right?
Yeah. But I think I'll try scrounging for more supplies. So I think that was 8 dice and a target number of 8.
So you're looking for supplies.
Or I'm sorry,
Equipment. Okay.
Yeah.
So your awareness of 6, the approach, Tobit, yeah, 8 dice against a target number of 8.
One success.
One success. All right. 5 pounds of equipment.
Okay.
Get your Big 12 sandwich eating butt over here.
So in the process of looking for equipment, Peggy finds an oddity.
Oh, good job, Peggy. You're amazing. She found her foot.
Yeah, right. It was not in my mouth.
So this oddity is a silver tube. So it's literally silver. And it's got gold runes. And it's crescent shaped or bow shaped. It's probably about the length of a table leg, and it's got a cutout near the top of the tube, a couple of inches from the top of the tube, and then another cutout about a third the way up from the other end of the tube. And you find a trace amount of quicksilver dripping out of the tube.
I'm still here. I just had to walk around for a second.
Okay. Got that, Dave?
Yeah.
So you found that while you were scrounging around for some equipment. So you did get the equipment, but you also found that oddity.
Okay.
Okay, that takes us to player 2, takes us to Kevin. What's your last action?
And you said it's a tube, not solid. It's a tube.
Correct.
Like a glass tube.
Correct.
What's quicksilver, or what did you say?
So
Mercury.
yes, quicksilver is the old world
mercury
term for mercury.
Okay. I told Tobin to drink it and watch what happens.
Yep.
Give it to the alchemist.
Mm-hmm. Oh. With my awareness, or by where the small copper pipe goes into the wall, I want to check and see if any of the stone is loose. Is it like cinder blocks? Is there like grooves, or is it all just one solid piece?
Curiously enough, it's one solid piece. Well, it's solid piece in terms of like it's a monolithic, like 8 foot by 8 foot pieces of stone, and then there's another big 8 foot by 8 foot block of stone, and the seams are so tight that you'd be hard pressed to even get a razor blade between the two.
Is there any of this copper tubing laying around anywhere in here? Do an awareness check.
Perhaps if you want to search for some, if that would be your action.
I guess the main thing I want to know is what kind of water's coming through this copper tubing. Is it salt water or is it fresh water? That makes a difference.
Okay. So how are you going to determine the answer to that?
That's why I was trying to break it open, but
okay.
Because you said it doesn't go into any of the tanks, right? Or it does, or you can't tell.
So you don't see any outlets above the water line. So if if it goes into the tanks, it's coming in from underneath, or I mean, it'd have to be coming in from underneath.
But you said the water's salt water in the tanks?
Yeah.
Let's hunt for some of the copper tubing first. I think that makes, I got an idea with it down the road.
So you're going to try and find some copper tubing?
Mm-hmm. Use my awareness.
Okay. Okay, so your awareness, an extra die for the approach, an extra die for Tobid's help. Target number is a 6 because you don't have the penalties.
2. Four.
4 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 3, 5, 10. So you find 13 pounds of equipment.
Yeah.
And of course, that can take any form you want. So it could be copper tubing. Okay. That takes us to Ange for her last turn.
So, okay, I got 14 pounds of fish. Got them in buckets. Have them in their water that they came in. So, I'm almost tempted to say, let's keep looking for more equipment, because when we bring these things back, I don't want to just dump them all in the tank for the octocyrosite to eat all of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're probably going to have to keep them in something, I mean, I can keep them in the buckets for a while. And obviously they're getting fed by something. They're probably getting fed by vegetation that might be in the water. Most times it's how it is for fish. And you'll only see a lot of algae in water like that if, they're producing a lot of fecal material. So that's going to be a lot of nitrogen in the water. So I think Adriana's going to need to maybe look for or harvest some food to keep them alive and maybe get them to procreate with each other, I guess.
Okay.
Figure out having males and females and then maybe, keep them going, because I mean, we can go back to the fish farm, but we got to get it going again because it sounds like it's defunct at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're surviving a little bit, but maybe we need to set something up so that way we can get it to go somewhere else. I don't know.
Okay. So what is it that you are going to do then?
So I think at this point, I mean, we can always go back to the fish farm. I think I need to harvest some plant material or food, for what we have. And then we can always go back and then try and harvest again until we can, maybe build something else or get this thing going so that way we can, still sustain the octocyrosites, because we got to keep them alive. We got to figure out what's going on here with getting the story going. So I think what I'm probably going to use is I don't know if I should use my intelligence, because then I can look and see what is there and be able to differentiate that from, I mean, I have some knowledge of what, because my background, I'm thinking I'm going to use intelligence to harvest some things
Okay.
out of these tanks.
Okay. So your intelligence, anything else?
And I could use apothecary too.
Okay.
That's part of that extracting ingredients and
Okay.
that type of thing. So
that's 12 dice,
mhm.
14 total, including the bonuses from Tobit and the approach. Target number 8.
I got 3 successes.
3 successes.
Yep.
Okay, so we can call this 12 pounds of supplies.
Okay.
Okay. And that wraps up the scene then. Then you guys make it back to the green zone. So what we'll do is let's break for 5. And then when we come back, you guys will be at the green zone. And then we can figure out how much downtime you guys need to recuperate from your fatigue and so forth. We can figure out what we're doing from there.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Back in 5. All right, so what we need to do here is figure out how long it's going to take Peggy to recover from her greatest injury, which is her mental fatigue. She has got 40% mental fatigue damage. And your target number to recover is based on your injury level and the priority level you have assigned to attributes. And given your 40% injury level and your priority level A in attributes, your target number is a 3. So recovering from mental fatigue damage is a wisdom. So you get to roll your 7 dice against a target number of 3.
Okay. Five successes.
5 successes. Okay, very good. So given your wisdom of 7 and your priority level A, you recover 20% after 13 hours of rest. So it takes you to 20%. So at 20%, your target number is only a 2. So another wisdom check against a target number of 2.
Okay. 6 successes.
6, okay.
I'm here. My camera's not responding for some reason.
Okay. All right, I'll be with you in a minute. All right, let me take a look at stamina here. Your stamina is 10% every 8 hours. And so you will realistically have recovered all of that as well. So we'll just call that full recovery. And then let's take a look at Alden has got 40% stamina damage. And the priority level Alden has assigned to attributes is C. So, Kevin, you're going to be rolling your con of 8 dice, and your target number is a 5.
Five successes.
5 successes, okay. And your recovery is 10% after 8 hours. It takes you to 30. So another check, same target number of 5.
I use my subconscious to do this.
Your harness subconscious does not apply to stamina. It applies to fatigue.
Okay. Just 3 successes that time.
Okay. Okay. first check took you to 30. Next check takes you to 20. Okay, and now your target number is a 4.
Five.
Okay, and one more check against a 4.
Four.
Okay, so that brings you up. And I will be right back while I am looking into a technical difficulty problem.
Hi, Dave.
Hi. So I saw the posting about the new lances
Yeah.
for the campaign.
to store stuff. I'm using half my garage. I bought some shelving, and half my garage has got stuff stored in it. So we'll see where it goes.
Oh,
Nice extra income, that's for sure.
that's good.
All right. Adriana.
The hell, Smash Masters. Listen or die. What's it sure say?
No, it's the listen or.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a fictitious. It was from Lexington Comic-Con.
oh.
And we
I
got
was
free
confused
shirts.
the other day when you said Angie said something about Dawn. What were you talking about? Said something about from.
Oh, because you were saying that Don skipped out of tonight's game in order to go trying to win Taylor Swift tickets.
Oh,
And Taylor Swift fans are called Swifties.
Oh,
And you said that he was gonna go try and win the concert tickets for his daughter.
yeah.
And Angie's like, bullshit. Don's the Swiftie. And I'm like,
We
you're
all
right.
know he loves Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Don't
But
hide
Donna-
it.
But Tony said, "You know, I know you're gay. What? Could you like Taylor Swift?" So,
All right. So Adriana has got 40% stamina damage.
Yep.
Let's see how long it takes her to recover. So priority level D is what you have assigned to attributes. And at your damage level, your target number is a 6. So you're going to roll your con of 5 dice against a target number of 6.
I got 2 successes.
Okay, that's good. So based on your con, that's 12 hours. You get 10% back. Takes you to 30%. Okay, roll again, same target number.
Ooh, 4 successes. Wow. That's crazy.
Okay, takes you to 20%. And that makes your target number a 5 now. So roll again against a 5.
Okay. Had 2 successes.
And one more time.
1 success.
Okay, so you have no stamina damage now.
All right.
And your recovery rate for fatigue is quicker. So we'll say that you've recovered all your fatigue over that time period as well. So now you are fully recovered.
Nice.
Don's recovered. Okay, so you guys basically need about 2 days worth of downtime to recover. So that gives you 2 downtime activities, 2 things you can do while you guys are recovering before you head back out to the red zone again. So, Dave, is there anything you want to do with your 2 days?
So as far as the development of rooms goes, the kitchen, the lab, and the barracks are all set, I guess.
Correct.
And so I want to start working on a crafting room for my ceramics.
Okay.
And
Do you want one of the 20 by 20 rooms, one of the 400 square foot?
yeah,
Okay. Okay. So, I did not get the green zone expansion rules figured out between sessions. My bad.
well, can we apply that retroactively? Just say
Yes.
I'm setting 2 days
Yes.
worth. Okay.
So I should have that figured out next time. I suspect what'll happen is I think I'll figure out like how much of your green zone you can expand. You'll get to pick at least one room to include in it of room type that you have already explored, which could be the Hall of Mist, it could be the fish farm, etc. One of those room types. And that'll include a certain amount of other resources with it that you will have rummaged around and found in other rooms that were part of that area that you incorporated. So I'll probably handle that through email to let you know, like, okay, you guys, well, you tell me what room you want to include. Actually, can we just answer that question now?
No.
Okay.
I don't
Come
care.
on, cartographer, pull up the map.
What-
We don't do that anymore.
What one room type that you have explored do you want to add to your green zone?
Fish farm.
Yeah,
You-
yeah, yeah.
You want to add the fish farm?
Okay.
Okay. So I will figure out what that means for your green zone then.
Okay.
And then that'll, like I said, that'll include a certain amount of resources, which most likely will be enough for Peggy to set up a pottery room so she can start converting supplies over to other resource types.
Okay, great.
So that's what she's doing with her downtime. It takes us to Kevin. You got 2 activities you can do.
I want to try to see if I can break down how the wand works, the force bolt wand, and learn it as a spell.
Okay.
Or don't forget the oddity. I don't
Oh.
know if that captures your imagination.
It does, but I want to try to get a spell too. So I don't
Oh,
have to.
okay.
I could give you the wand or some Tobit the wand or something.
Okay, so you want to study the wand in the alchemy lab. Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
Okay. Um,
I mean,
your priority level
spellcraft
spellcraft
is a B, isn't
is
it?
B. Yeah.
Yeah.
B as in boy.
Which makes me a mage, was it? I saw. I didn't print that one out.
So the room is 400 square feet, so that's 4 dice.
Okay.
Plus, it's got the decoration requirement, so there's other useful things there that you're able to apply. So that's another 4 dice. So that's
Yeah.
8.
Mm-hmm.
plus you've got the research skill.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your research skill rating?
I think a 2 right now, is it? By the way, I reinstalled the printer drivers and it works fine. So
Good.
Research 2.
Okay. So
That's
that takes you up to
10.
10. Is there anything else you can do to get more dice that you can?
Spellcraft.
No,
Why?
because that's what you're already rolling.
Oh,
Oh,
That's the 4 dice from the room.
Oh,
it's
okay.
It's an alchemy lab, so it's allowing you to use your spellcraft. It goes back to the lore question that you guys didn't answer last game session.
is that unseen servant already factored in?
Mm.
Or does
Oh.
that room have one?
Yeah, I don't know. Does it, Larry?
It is not factored in. I didn't mention it.
But is there an unseen servant for this room?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll use him.
Okay.
Let me look at my Excel sheet version of myself because I'm pretty badass when it comes to Excel.
Okay. So just to go back over the unseen servant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first let's see if you can get it up and running. So the maximum force rating the unseen servant could be in this room is 4.
Okay.
Because it's limited again by the room size. So that's force rating 4. So that's 4 dice plus you can pull up to 4 more dice from your spell attack pool.
Yeah. Say.
Okay. So go ahead and roll that against a target number of 4.
4.
4 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that means it's a force rating 4.
Okay.
And it'll be good for 1 activity. So that's 14 dice.
Yep.
So before you make this roll,
Mm-hmm.
before you proceed with this activity, let's revisit the unseen servant.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys learned a long time ago that practically every room has got an unseen servant bound to it. So what that means is that while you don't know how to cast a spell, you know how to activate the spell when it is enchanted upon something else. And so the room is enchanted with the unseen servant spell.
Mm-hmm.
And each room has got its own unique activation for the unseen servant. And you learn that the way that you find those instructions, if you don't know what they are already, is that you need to use intense heat around the door frame to have the runes appear.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the way that you would use heat to reveal invisible ink,
Mm-hmm.
citric acid on parchment.
Mm-hmm.
You already know what the activation is for this room because you've already done it in here, so you didn't need to do that. But as you're activating this room's unseen servant, you're thinking back to the knowledge that you have on magic, and there's a deviation for this spell. This spell is not working the way it should.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you don't remember all the fine details required to use the spell on your own, but you remember enough of the concepts and philosophies, the theories behind conjuration summoning to know that there's something wrong with this spell. For all intents and purposes, it is the unseen servant spell, but it's a conjuration summoning spell, and what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to be cast upon the caster himself. It allows the caster to manifest their will. It could be thought of as a form of telekinesis. You basically are manipulating things in your environment with your will. It's like having an extra set of hands. But that's not how this spell is working. It's on this room. Again, it's functionally it's the unseen servant, but this spell is using necromancy. This spell is not cast upon you. You are not manifesting your will like you were taught. You were calling upon a soul that is bound to this room, a specific individual. You're calling upon a specific soul that is bound to this room.
Okay, no.
So, following what all that means, okay, that means that someone is being prevented from moving on to the other side. Someone is being prevented from moving on to the afterlife.
So our soul's trapped.
Yeah, someone's soul is trapped here. Someone's soul is enslaved in this room. And you know that practically every room has got an unseen servant.
A lot of souls.
Exactly. You have been through hundreds of rooms. Well, maybe not hundreds, but probably close to at least 100 rooms. And you don't know how large this floor is. So there could be 1,000 souls trapped on this floor. Well, how many floors are in this tower? How many towers are there? How many thousands of souls are trapped here? How does that sit with Alden? What does he think once he realizes this, that he's using necromancy to command an enslaved soul, and that your people have got thousands of enslaved souls?
Your people, I mean.
I mean, this is your people built this. Your society built this place.
Oh, okay. I mean, honestly, it doesn't bother me that much. It's there for use. I mean, should they move on? Well, maybe, maybe not. I mean, we don't know the background of these souls. They could be, murderers. They could be people that's committed terrible crimes. Maybe that's why they trapped their souls and made them work for their eternity. I mean, we don't know the background of the souls. Something we need to find out sometime. So yeah, it doesn't really bother me at this time.
Okay.
That does bring up a thought, though, and that maybe these are the ones that we're trying to awaken. Maybe all these, we found a few bodies. Maybe the souls are from the bodies that are in the tanks and stuff like that. Maybe we were a trapped soul at one time.
Okay.
Just thinking.
So, having realized that, are you proceeding with activating this room's unseen servant?
Yes.
Okay. Are you proceeding with your research on the wand of magic missiles?
Yes.
Or wand of force bolt? Yeah.
Is that the same as magic missile, isn't it?
Yeah. So, all right. So 14 dice then against a target number of 6.
Two. Eight. What did you say? 16 dice.
14.
Yeah. 14. 5 successes.
5 successes. Okay. All right. Well, you recognize a lot of the runes that are on the wand that are empowering it. And you know that if you fail in activating the wand, that you're probably going to, it's probably going to drain it.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, if you critically fail, it's going to lose force rating. You're going to drop 1 force rating per critical failure. In terms of learning how to use the spell without using the wand, you have not figured that out. But studying the runes and contemplating on the magic that must have gone into making this, you've got some theories and you've remember some aspects of the type of magic that's used, but you've not been successful in unlocking its use without the wand.
What kind of magic?
Invocation, evocation. I think that's what it is for that
Also,
spell.
Can I figure out, would it be verbal somatic? Would it be just symbols?
So that goes into the thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy? Yeah, okay, that's what I would have used then. I couldn't think of the word, but yeah.
Yeah. So
Do that next time.
Yeah. So basically, what you're working on right now is artificium. It's using the magic with an aid of some kind, with a physical aid. So that's your activity. Ange, does Adriana have anything that she wants to do? Got 2 things that you guys could be doing before we're done with your downtime.
Well, so I brought these fish back. So I think that probably, I mean, I don't know if this is part of my downtime or not, but I think that I'd like to go and check on the octocyrosite and get it fed and, kind of document, the state that it's in right now.
Okay. Okay, so as you go, remember you got 2 octocyrosites.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so as you go check on them, let's see what's going on. You find Shaq there. Says, hey, how's it going?
Good. What are you doing? How are you?
Well, you guys have been out. I've been looking over your notes about the biokilstra and studying the biokilstra that's in these tanks and these octocyrosites. And by my calculations, I would estimate that you guys have got probably somewhere between 5 and 7 days before they have consumed all of the usable air in the biokilstra.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
So we need to oxygenate the water or the biokilstra.
Yeah. You need to, when you guys go out, you're going to need to try and get some more of this biokilstra back with you, because I don't think it's going to be capable of sustaining them any more than a week at best.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, based on how much food you guys brought back for them and how much I think they probably would go through. I mean, I think they're going to run out of biokilstra before they run out of food.
Okay.
Not by much, but I mean, once they're out, they're out. So it just doesn't matter how much fish you bring back.
And the biokilstra that we brought back the last time, did we use all of that in both those tanks to replenish the tanks?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't bring back much.
Okay.
I mean, most of what you guys brought back was inert.
Mm-hmm. And I think that we were in the process of studying some of that too to see if we could make it.
Well, you understand. I mean, from what the notes say, and from what I'm grasping of it, I mean, we got a good idea as to how this stuff works, but you know, figuring out how to make it, that's another story, and having the equipment to do it. I think they probably go through, I'm estimating here, about 3 gallons worth of this stuff every day.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So the biokilstra that we brought back was inert.
Most of it, yeah.
Okay. So going back to that resource probably is not going to work for us.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you guys can find another biokilstra processing room, then, I mean, maybe you can find some that was ready to be, that was done processing and hadn't leaked, and was ready to, you know, be shipped out or whatever. But I mean, I don't know how old this stuff is that you guys are finding, but and how good the containers are, but I mean it.
So where's the
probably
inert?
leaking.
Where's the inert biokilstra right now?
Oh, it's still in the tank. I mean, we're not. I mean, you can just look at. I mean, look in this tank, and you can tell that. You can tell how it doesn't have.
It doesn't have the color.
Yeah, you can tell that it's darkening, and like you see how the bubbles are clinging to the tank. All these tiny bubbles that are clinging to the tank, and I mean, from my observations, there's not as many bubbles clinging to the side of the tank. It doesn't look as aerated.
And that's how you can tell that it's inert.
Yeah. So it's you know, as we breathe, it's consuming or using up air. Well, that's what these things are doing. Plus, how much of it is escaping out the top, and doesn't matter how much air is in the tank if it's not in the fluid that these things are swimming in.
You're talking about the tanks that the octocyrosites are in right now. You're not talking about the inert biokilstra that we brought back.
Yeah, I'm talking about the tanks that they're in. I'm talking about these amnio tanks that they're swimming in.
Okay, so the inert stuff, is this something that we just need to add to it to make it active?
Well, if you bring back more, that's good. I mean, we've got plenty of room in here to just dump it in. I mean, at some point, we're going to have to, you know, drain some of this stuff out because it's not going to be able to hold more, and you know, the tank's going to be full. We're going to have to drain it to get rid of the old stuff to make room for more good stuff. But I mean, first thing, you guys got to find more of the good stuff before we worry about the tank filling up.
Right. Okay. Well, with with what Adriana has in what Adriana has an apothecary, is that something that she can utilize toward furthering the study for making the BioKillstra?
She might be able to figure out,
or at least to help oxygenate what's in there, so that way, the octocyricides can last longer.
it might help her in making more of it if you had the equipment, and if you had whatever the necessary ingredients are. But you know that you don't have the necessary ingredients and you don't have the necessary equipment.
Is there something else that she can look at to get these to live in an alternate environment? I'm just thinking, with her background, you would think that she'd be able to, find another way for them to live.
Well, that's up to you. What do you want to try to do? I mean, are you trying to get these things to breathe air without the BioKillstra, or what are you talking about? What alternate environment? What are you trying to do?
Well, I guess at some point we're going to have to go back to the BioKillstra plant and figure out what we need to do there. I'm just thinking, if we had, obviously we don't have a great big lab set up and all that other stuff to, do something this finite as far as trying to put something together. I don't know. That's a pretty big downtime activity to just be dedicating to try and keep these things alive. My thought was, we'll feed these. They'll last for a little bit longer until we get more food and figure out what we need to do as far as BioKillstra goes.
Tobit says, well, why don't I just cook them up? Let's eat them.
No. No.
I can just make a stew.
Nope.
Toss them in there, some rat meat.
Oh, God. Rat meat. No.
All right. Well,
I think that's going to be too big of a task for me to just sit and do that by myself. Because, my mind's just trying to figure out, other than going back to the BioKillstra plant and foraging for more,
Well, it's under our green zone now, isn't it?
You guys grabbed a fish farm.
Yeah. We got the fish farm. So, yeah, and we don't have any other not broken tanks in the area that haven't had exposure and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, her skill in apothecary, would she be able to, utilize something there to help them to elongate their life other than just the BioKillstra? There's got to be something else that we can find.
Well, give me an action. What do you want to do? Do you
Well,
want
let's
to
see
research
here.
something? Do you want to make something? What do you want it to do? What?
I think I'm going to use my wisdom. No, intelligence, and try and do some research to find out, you know, look through some of these logs that we had, and see what else was being utilized to sustain them until they were actually because they were put in the biokilster to help keep, the clones alive, or, you know, they were a host to, the octocyrosite.
Yep.
So there's got to be another resource, something, other than the biokilstra to keep them going.
Okay.
So I would probably say intelligence, and then I can combine that with apothecary, couldn't I?
So
Or arcane lore.
so you're saying you want to research to see if
Mhm.
there's an alternate solution that you can put them in.
Mhm.
I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Okay. So you're going to need to use the alchemy lab. So that's 8 dice from the alchemy lab,
Okay.
because it's basically allowing you to use your spellcraft, just up to 4 dice plus decoration bonus. So it's
Okay.
8 dice.
Okay.
Target number 6.
Okay. And I wouldn't use anything in my intelligence?
No,
No.
it doesn't work like that for
Okay.
for
For
research in
downtime.
a room. Yeah.
Okay. You said target number was 6?
Yeah.
So I got 8 dice total. Okay. I have 3 successes.
3 successes tells you that you could probably toss them back in the salt water. Because that they probably, I mean, they're probably they're like octopus, so they're probably marine life of some kind that
Sure.
probably came from salt water to begin with.
Mhm.
So you could probably toss them back in the tanks, but how much salinity is required,
Mhm.
and how oxygen rich are the tanks still? Will it collapse the the food chain that's already there by using up too much oxygen, etc.? I mean, could you use the fish farms to sustain their life? I mean, that's a possibility,
Mhm.
but I mean, how much more life you're going to get is yet to be determined.
Mhm.
But it's something. It's an extension until you get more answers and
Mhm.
come up with a bigger solution.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So my suggestion would be, while Peggy's working on getting her pottery barn set up,
Mhm. Pottery barn.
yeah, you work on the fish farm
Yeah. Yes.
and figure it out from there.
Yep. Now that that's in our green zone.
Yeah. So that would be your other activity.
Yep.
All right. So when Kev comes back, we'll finish up his second activity, and then we can figure out what we're doing from there.
Okay. to do rolled, and basically, you know, we could probably sustain them in saltwater for a while, but we need to figure out how long that could happen. You know, if we're going to take them back to the fish farm in those tanks, you know, how much more oxygen are they going to use out of that, you know, and using up the resources in those tanks, you know, eating the fish that are already in there and trying to live inside of them. So fortunately, the fish farm is now underneath our green zone. So, so we can do some more research with that. So that's probably going to sustain their life until we can, you know, because my guess is, you know, the way that I look at it is, I mean, those were utilized as, I mean, they were living off of the clones in the tank, and somehow each of them was feeding off of each other, living off of each other somehow. So, you know, they were probably bred and produced in salt waters, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, more to come. Stay tuned.
Yeah, so she's using her other downtime activity to work on the fish farm.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the fish
Yeah.
farm.
All right. So does Alden share his insight with the rest of the party regarding the unseen servant?
Oh yeah. Yeah. How do you guys think?
Yeah. Yeah. How do you guys react to that info? What do you make of that?
Did you see a gleam in my eye?
Well, I guess Peggy would suggest that Alden try like communicating with the soul since he's a psionicist.
I'm a what?
I don't know what goes on in that big lobed brain of yours, but
I'm a scion.
um, or ask Peggy would ask Adriana if is it like something about faith? Could we like exorcise the souls that are trapped to free them?
Do I get a second action? Or are we done?
No, you get a second action.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. You know,
It's creepy, Peggy says. It's creepy.
it's creepy.
It's just creepy because you don't understand it.
Yeah.
Your simple mind can't extrapolate the reaches of the universe.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you know, Peggy sees it as creepy, and I think that Adriana probably sees it as imprisonment, you know, I guess. Which is still creepy, but, you know, she's not seeing it as creepy so much as um, do we have a moral obligation, or is this a dilemma? You know, is this a struggle within ourselves?
Mhm.
Or do we feel like we're so far removed from it because we're not responsible for that personally? Not that we can recall, because we
Mhm.
don't know. We're still trying to figure out how we got here, what happened.
So with that information and the memory of how Adriana got tanked.
She got
Tanked.
what? That's what I heard.
I was tanked.
Okay.
Yeah, when she was
Dave heard it too.
beat to death by unseen servants. How does that sit with her?
Is this the tower that's in Yeah. Got to name the movie. My gosh. Heavy Metal, the tower where the lock number is.
Yep.
I didn't know there'd be this much
Yeah.
talking. Lock number's mine.
So you're asking how Adriana feels about,
What do you want?
yeah. I don't
Since
know.
when did you get a pet?
Do what?
Since when did you get a pet, Kevin?
It's not mine. It's my roommate's.
Oh,
What is it?
He's moving out though. It's a
Oh.
cat,
It's a
No.
monkey.
but it likes me more than it does him.
Is that why he's moving out?
You see that?
Aw. He's pretty.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Aw. What's his name?
Carlos.
Oh. He's pretty.
Because he don't ever play with it or pet it or you know.
Yeah.
Anymore is why he's always around me.
Aw. Cute.
Oh, you're not getting there.
Look at my butt.
Yeah, pretty much.
But everybody.
Look at my butt as I walk away.
He's freaking out because I don't let him in this room because of all the stuff that's in here.
Oh.
So if I'm in here, it's okay. But,
So back to Adriana and how she feels about this. Well, I mean, what's Alden gonna do with these unseen servants?
what am I going to
Yeah.
do with them? Someday, when I have the power, I'll probably try to control them.
But I mean, so the unseen servants are in all these rooms. We summon them to help us with certain things. We're
But I'll get it to where I can. Hopefully, at some point, I'll get to where I can let them leave the room. I mean, they're bound in these rooms for a reason. There's they're either. It's probably the runes that keep them hidden or trapped in these rooms. So once I figure out how to get rid of the runes and trap them, we could use it for other things.
Well, Adriana experienced firsthand that they can turn on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she knows that they can be dangerous, but
anything can be dangerous. Raccoon can probably not kill you, but once it still has the opportunity to. We'll see. I mean, I'm probably a long way from that point.
I mean, I think that just depends on what our thought is to what are we going to use them for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
to carry our stuff, to go find supplies or equipment for us, help guard us at night while we're resting, maybe even fight for us if we need to. All kinds of stuff.
But I guess the whole thing is, why would they do that for us?
Because I'll be their master.
Oh.
I mean,
master.
They won't have a master.
Well, and then they're not. Well, that's the other thing too. So they're unseen.
There's a lot of research I need to do with it yet.
I mean, they're unseen servants. They're not people. They're not flesh and blood people. They're, yeah, they can.
But maybe
they can turn on you, but at the same time.
But if they're a spirit or a ghost or whatever they are, which I'll find out, I can make a clone and they can go into the clones. Then you'd have flesh and blood. And then, I can just clone shit, and then if that vessel gets killed or knocked out, then here's another one to go into.
So we're gonna.
Gotta think the broader picture.
We're gonna make an army out of them, huh?
Good. Never know. See, Peggy's all confused. She's like, what? She's like, my simple mind can't comprehend.
What if they're simply bad, evil souls?
Oh. So what's evil?
Something that would attack and kill Adriana,
or sabotage whatever we're asking them to do.
And that's why I've been researching, trying to make a vessel to trap their souls too.
Well,
I've got contingencies.
I was going to say, I mean, is there something that we can give back to them to give them some sort of, freedom, I guess?
I mean, like I said, there's a lot of research that I need to do on
Sure.
them and figure out why they're trapped, who trapped
Yeah,
them. Yeah, it may not be that simple. I don't know.
sure.
It's gonna take some time. I mean, I'll keep you posted.
All right, so you've got one more downtime activity, Kevin. How is Alden going to spend it?
I'm gonna try to figure out what I say using FARC and spellcraft and all that, like I just used, but see if this is a verbal spell, if it's verbal semantic, it's using your hands, right?
Okay, so you don't need to. You don't need to do that. Basically, every spell, more or less, can be cast with every one of those different thaumaturgies.
Okay.
It's just some thaumaturgies are more flexible than others, and which thaumaturgy you use depends on your skill level and the situation. So, in this particular situation, somebody knew the magic missile spell, and they knew the thaumaturgy of artificium, and so they were able to craft this wand. Now, that may be the most advanced type of thaumaturgy they knew. And if that's the case, then they would only be able to use that spell with alchemy or Futhark or artificium. So you don't really need to research that angle of it.
I'm trying to remember. So spellcraft is a B, which means which sheet am I supposed to look at here? Spellcraft.
For what? To know what you're.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to figure out what the highest. Okay, Futhark is the highest. Then I know.
So you can go up to. You don't know the most advanced.
Which one? Mantra or
you know up to mantra. So it goes alchemy, Futhark, artificium, mudra, mantra.
Okay.
So mantra is verbal. So
That's
so
yeah.
you know somatic, physical gestures, and you know verbal, but you don't know how to cast spells by willpower alone. That would be the most advanced. That is what is beyond your grasp.
Wouldn't that be more like psionic?
No. It's similar principles, but it's not the same thing.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm gonna try to cast it using Futhark, or not Futhark, mantra, verbally. Okay. But I want we use that ability, and then I also want to have Shaq help me because he's a spellcaster. Maybe he can help me. His spellcraft ability, like teach me certain words, stuff like that. So yeah. Set your damn words.
Yeah. So you're continuing the research on it. So it'll be 4 for the room, plus 4 from the bonus is 8. And then
Too far, or mantra.
Well, that's what the room's allowing you to use. So there's your 8. Anything else? Shaq will give you an extra die.
Okay.
So there's 9. Anything else?
What I used before, I got 14.
Summon the servant.
Oh, do the servant. Yes, that would be, yeah.
Okay, so let's see how successful your servant is first. So.
Oh, you have to do it each time?
Yeah, it's only good for 1 day. So
okay.
You're rolling up to 8 dice against a target number of 4 for the servant.
5.
Okay. So the max it could be is 4 because of the room's size.
Okay.
So, so 15 dice against a target number
Mm.
4.
Okay. 5 there. You say
Yeah.
15? No, you can't roll. 6, 7, 8. 11 total.
11 total.
Out of 15.
Including the 5 from your previous roll.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have not figured out how to use this spell without the wand because you really need to learn it. But what you have figured out is a way to strengthen the power of this wand to increase its force rating.
Okay.
And I'll have to give that some thought as to what its increase is. I think it's probably going to go up by 1 because you needed 10.
What is it now? 5?
Well, it's at 5. You needed 10 successes. You generated 11. It'll probably bump it up 1. I'll have to give that some thought.
No. Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's everyone's downtime activities. Unless you want to spend resources to take more downtime. Otherwise, we'll call it, and you guys can head back out to the red zone next game.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine with me, with Becky.
So it's nothing. We can talk about that off record.
Off the record. Okay.
Mhm.
just forget about you tomorrow. What you better do.